Season 48, War number 2, and we are up against Matrix, and this time my team will be Silk, White Tiger and Dust. I will be taking Path 6 in Section 1, Path 9 in Section 2, and then I will be taking the Cosmic Ghost Rider, Sersi, Mangog and Gorr mini-bosses along with that Bullseye boss using Dust. So quite a few fights this time around, plenty of tactic fights as well. And most of these will be done with Dust, who I haven't really used in war before since she is a new champion. But she's quite powerful and she has some great things going for her, but more on that once we get to the other fights. First off, here we have a Wong on the spiked armor and combat dashable prowess nodes, and I'm taking this fight with Silk. Nothing real special here to mention. Wong is gonna drop from a single special too, and that's about all there is to it. I will take some cheap damage from the spiked armor node, but that's alright, it's barely noticeable. And yeah, that does it for this one. Now I did get the cross fight from finishing him off while he had a bar of power, and that will come back to bite me in the butt later, since I kinda forgot about that. But overall, the fight itself was very easy. And then next up here we have an Attuma on the critical setup and aggression prowess node, and I am taking this fight with Silk. Now I did throw on a regen boost just to offset any cheap damage I might take here, but overall Dust is a great option against Attuma, since all of her light attacks and her heavy attack are all non-contact, so she will not be taking any of the Thorns damage on those hits. First medium is kinda the only exception here, so I will take some every now and then, but it's barely noticeable as well, and the regen boost will offset any of that. Now, Silk's damage output with her basic attack is also pretty good. Attuma here is almost dead before I even get my first special off, and well, a special 2 into a single medium and the fight is done. Not much else to say about that one. Didn't really get a proper rotation going for Dust, but if you do have an opponent with enough health, she is very capable of simply cycling special 2s with the mutant power back boosts against plenty of opponents. It does require some setup though. Then here we have an Onslaught on the Hazard Shift Shock and Bleed node along with Power Focus 2, and I will be taking this fight with Dust as well. Another great piece of her kit is her triple immunities. She's immune to Bleed, Shock and Poison, so the Hazard Shift node here does absolutely nothing. On top of that, you might have also noticed that I'm actually landing parries here, and I'm not getting the Daunted debuff. And the reason for that is Dust has a guaranteed chance, or I guess a 100% chance, to glance whenever she lands a well-timed block or a parry. So against Onslaught, normally if you try to parry him, you get the Daunted debuffs on yourself, shutting down your willpower healing, among other things, and with Dust, you will never have to worry about that one. Well, unless you eat a heavy attack from him, but that's not something you should do in the first place. Overall, this matchup is quite simple. With Dust, the Daunteds, well, normally you're not parrying Onslaught anyways, but since Dust is capable of doing that without any issues, I am going for them quite often to land those extra sand debuffs, as well as to get easier openings without needing to dance around baiting heavy attacks. Now to finish this fight off, I go for a special 3 to activate the Sandstorm, and the special 3 on Dust also doesn't cost any power, which allows me to go straight for a special 2, which passively stuns the opponent if the Sandstorm is active, and then just cycle more special 2s in, and the fight is over. Dust is finishing it with basically full health. I can already say that Dust is very underrated. The amount of utility she has in her kit is kinda insane, and her damage isn't horrible either, though it's not the highest out there. Anyways, here we have a Kingpin on the Hazard Shift Shock and Bleed node along with One Eye Open, and I am taking the fight with Dust. Honestly, quite a simple fight. She is a tactic attacker, so the defense tactic will be in check with those tactic prowesses. Other than that, all I really need to do here is just hit Kingpin until he drops, and that's about it. Now I will be going for some special 2 spam here, or at least I was going to. And that's honestly not a great idea here, and the reason for that is the passive stun on the special 2 if the sandstorm is active. I kind of forgot about the interaction here, but due to the What I Open node and your special 2's last hit inflicting a stun, you will take damage on the very last hit from What I Open, and yeah, the damage is... well, it hurts quite a lot, and that will cost me some potions. Thankfully it didn't hit hard enough to actually kill me, since I was fully boosted, but still, that gave me quite a scare there, and it was a nice reminder that that interaction exists, and if I have to take the matchup again, or any When I Open nodes with her in general, I will definitely keep that in mind, and I will not throw the special 2s while the sandstorm is active. Then next up here we have a Cosmic Ghost Rider on the Power Snack and 1 Too Many Hits miniboss node, and I'm taking this fight with White Tiger. Now White Tiger isn't exactly the greatest option for CTR, simply due to the fact that he is bleed immune. The special 2 will suffer a little bit due to that, but overall it is just a CTR. Any tactic champion should do just fine against him. Though in this specific matchup there is the added bonus of White Tiger being Nullify immune. And that means that the Power Snack node is never a problem, and all I gotta do to take this guy down is just bait the special 1 over and over and manage the indestructibles with the attack tactic. That is really all there is to it. I will do my best to try and parry the special 1s whenever possible, just to make sure I have those prowesses active at all times, so the indestructible will never stack up too much to actually deal with, and overall the fight is quite simple. I'm fairly comfortable parrying the full special 1, though I might miss a few parries here and there, but even then the block damage is barely noticeable, and the Power Sting debuff from the 1 Too Many Hits nodes is also there to, well, use some free willpower healing whenever needed. The fight has taken a little bit longer than I imagined it would, but at the end of the day it is a solo, and that's what matters this season more than anything. Fights may take even close to 5 minutes at times if the indestructibles get out of hand, but as long as you can get the fight down without dying, it's not gonna affect the actual war score too much, since it's not decided on time this time around, which is kinda nice, but also the tactic can be very punishing. And now here we have a Sersi on the Hazard Shift, Shock and Bleed along with the Conflictor miniboss node, and I'm taking the fight with Dust. I do have the White Magneto pre-fight here along with Apocalypse's Horseman cross-fight, just to give my Dusts a little bit of an edge for the Bullseye boss that I will be taking later. Now this specific matchup though, you do not need the Horseman pre-fight, nor do you need the White Magneto pre-fight either. The attack tactic allows you to bypass Conflictor node by reducing the opponent's Purify ability accuracy, so that is a simple way to play around the Conflictor node in general, though having the passive stuns on at all times, regardless of my prowess count, is a nice thing to have, so I don't need to worry about it. Now the game plan here is to do the special 3 to activate Sandstorm, and then spam special 2 to finish her off, but before I go ahead and do that, I will bait out the glancing and just wait it out beforehand. I would not want the glancing to activate while I'm spamming my special 2s, reducing the special damage and then preventing me from actually cycling them with the mutant powerback boosts. So doing it this way was probably the right call. I go for a special 3 here, and the damage on that isn't terrible, but yeah, it's not great either. And now at this point, just special 2, dash in another special 2, and the fight is over. The Assassin node never triggered due to Dust's immunities, and also triggering the bleed immunity inflicts sand debuffs on the opponent, ramping you up even faster. So overall, Dust is an excellent option for that node in general, and Sersi, well, she doesn't really need a counter at the end of the day. As long as you can handle the nodes, you should be fine against her. And now we have a Mangog on the Aspect of Evolution miniboss node as usual, and I'm taking the fight with Silk. Game plan is the same as always, just do the special 3 rotation and that's all there is to it. However, the thing that I forgot about was Wong's crossfight here, giving Mangog a burst of power at the start of the fight, and well, I am lucky that I decided to use the invulnerability boost. I used it without realizing I had the crossfight on, so I just kinda got lucky that I decided to put it on here and not save it for the next fight specifically. I ended up eating the special 3, which I don't think it would have killed me either way if I didn't have the boost up, but having it on was definitely the way to go. At this point, I'm at the special 3, I throw it and the fight is done. Mangog will never get a chance to do anything else ever again in this specific fight, and yeah, Silk just destroys him completely. Now I gotta say, I need to pay more attention to things. The crossfight from Wong, it was there the whole time. You could see the crossfight icon on Silk and I just never noticed it, and that could have ended badly, but I guess I lucked out once again. Now, next up we have a Gorr on the Conflictor miniboss node, along with computational prowess and whatever else this node has, and I'm taking the fight with White Tiger. Now, as noted previously, White Tiger is one of the better options for Gorr in general, due to the fact that she will simply just shrug off all of the damaging debuffs, because of the amount of buffs that Gorr has on himself. And that means you don't need to worry about melting to those, even if you happen to block some specials or basic attacks. On top of that, the bleed on the special 2 shuts down any healing on the opponent and steals it for White Tiger, allowing you to just top yourself up with that insane healing, while also just completely melting the opponent. And yeah, the fight was over in roughly 30 seconds, nothing special to mention there. Though I guess I should mention that the bleed debuff was bypassing the Conflictor node due to the attack tactic reducing the opponent's purifiability accuracy, as I mentioned previously in this war. And now we have the final fight of this war, a Bullseye boss that I will be taking with Dust. And well, I was very nervous about this fight, and rightfully so. Bullseye is a very difficult defender, and this tactic is making him even worse. On top of that, Dust is a new champion that I haven't really gotten too comfortable with yet, so all in all, I'm not too confident in my ability to take this fight. That said, Dust should be a great option simply due to that glancing, allowing you to bypass so much damage that Bullseye would otherwise deal to you, and then, of course, her being immune to bleed helps things a lot. You don't have to worry about the instant bleeds and blocked hits, and the glancing. As you can see, I'm taking less than 100 damage on every parry I land, and that's just insane, considering how hard he usually hits. Now the defense tactic here isn't exactly a problem. I'm parrying so many hits all the time that I have the tactic prowesses capped up at basically all times, so the indestructible will never have a chance to do anything. Now I did make a mistake there. I got caught by the evade by mismanaging his power gain, and I ate a special 1, which hurt quite a lot, but overall at this point I'm still fine. All I gotta do is just spam my special 2s with mutant powerback boosts, and the fight is, well, not over since the special 2s don't hit that hard, but just repeated this over and over again and I should get the solo. Now one thing that I definitely should have done for this fight specifically was put on the recoil masteries. Since Dust is immune to both the poison and bleed debuffs, she will only be taking the recoil damage, and since I'm only spamming special 3 and special 2s here anyways, or that's the plan anyways, the benefit from them would have been massive, and honestly at this point the fight would have been over, and yeah, without them it's just, you have so much more room for error that it's just sketchy, to say the least. That said, as long as I can just repeat what I did early on, just get to another sandstorm with my special 3, spam some special 2, the fight should be over, no issues whatsoever, some chip damage here and there and the special 1 that I ate earlier, but overall the fight's not that bad, and yeah, it doesn't go exactly according to plan. First off, I go for my striker here, hit him some, go for a heavy attack, and now I go for special 2 hoping it would finish. I didn't land enough crits, so it didn't, but it didn't push him to a special 3 either, so I figured I would be fine. But then I missed a dashback. He caught me with a combo, and instead of doing multiple hits, he only hit me twice, which pushed himself to a special 3, while leaving me without a bar of power, just barely under a single bar of power, and that meant that I couldn't try to throw it to save my life there. I ended up eating the special 3, which definitely killed me. I had no chance of surviving it, and there goes my deathless season already in war number 2, simply due to me being stupid and nothing else. Now if I have to take this matchup again, which I likely will, I will be running the recoil masteries, and I will not be rushing things by trying to finish it out when I don't need to. Overall, Dust is an excellent option for the boss, especially with some of the bans that people have been, well, banning, I guess, and yeah, honestly I'm just disappointed in myself for screwing it up like that, but it happens. Not much else for me to say about that. As for the results, we did end up winning the war 30-10, so at the very least, my death there didn't cost us anything really.